Well, I don't consider the charge extreme under the circumstance, because if you look at the tape and you see the intentional act that was involved, that's actually a murder charge. If it's something less than that, then the defendant himself is going to have to come forward and offer some explanation. Well, I think the charge is appropriate for what the conduct that took place. I mean, you know, that's the important things. You want to make sure that the charge themselves are consistent with the objective data or evidence that you can see. So if you look at the tape, you hear the testimony of various witnesses, that's consistent with the murder charge. So you wouldn't want to have a charge that's less than what the evidence suggests, because then that looks like the officer's getting a better shake than another citizen would get if he committed the same crime. You have essentially the videotape and you have the statements of individuals. The murder charge itself is an intentional act. And so it's not deliberate, it's not first degree, it's second degree. And so that's an intentional act. Mm-hmm. So when you have an intentional act, you just have to look at the tape and then you have to hear what people say. It's going to be incumbent upon the defendant to offer some explanation as to why what you see is not what it actually happened. Otherwise, I think it's not that difficult to prove second degree murder on these facts. I don't know that it's coincidental or not. All I can say is that the district attorney's office has said he was going to move very quickly on this. I think all the evidence is there. Now, I will say it is a good thing that it has happened now, whether it's coincident or not, because I think the rally itself now doesn't have the same impetus that it had before. The issue that this man was not arrested and not charged was a strong motivating factor for a lot of people here. Now that he has been arrested, now I think it now to the question of whether or not the issue of police misconduct, police abuse have been properly addressed, and whether Bart responded properly. But that's a different kind of question. My own view here is we don't want any violence at all here. To let the process work. The man has been now charged. He will be brought back here. There's a judicial system in place. He has rights like everyone else. Let those rights go forward and be respectful of those. But you do have the right and should protest and rally as much as you want, but just do it peacefully. The investigators in the district attorney's office should have had a lot of pressure on them. They should have felt the pressure because it was a serious crime. And when you have a serious crime and people can see it with their own eyes and nothing is done, that will put pressure on you if you don't act appropriately and quickly and efficiently. So I'm certain that they felt that kind of pressure, and they should have felt that pressure. Look, I have clear evidence that this young man was killed in violation of his civil rights. It doesn't matter what the criminal case does. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. We're going to win this case.